create simple and the first bond contract of fail fire on or the ball or a huge government pattern and bank monopoly or against ruined and the area right over by more money and and rapid there was a severe market of rate who got back on scale 19 plan way acknowledged the revolution leading to of the technology for plan our local community.